Marty, thank you very much for being with us.
The pleasure is entirely mine.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it's not.
Okay. I wanted to prepare some questions yesterday, didn't manage because, again, it's you. Don't want to ask you silly questions.
Wait, let me guess. Dog ate it, flew out the bus window.
Okay. No.
Your questions, they're all gone.
That was one of them as well, yeah, but...
We should start this interview now.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to ask you the main question, which would be, what does really excite you in, search marketing?
What really excites me is that marketing, once again, is becoming a list-building exercise.
Okay.
Back in the day, remember the day? We would make long lists, direct mail contact lists,
I wasn't born.
email lists. Yes, you were. Wait, let's cut off your arm and count the rings.
Okay,
we will
cool.
see for sure.
Go on.
At any rate, marketing to a great extent throughout the history of marketing was about making lists of people who were highly desirable contacts.
Yeah.
There were people who made lists, there were people who brokered lists, there were companies that leveraged lists to sell. Everything from knocking on the doors to sell somebody a vacuum cleaner to sending out direct mail solicitations. To a great extent, list building was not in vogue for a fair amount of recent marketing history, with the concept of inbound marketing, search marketing, social marketing, where we targeted people not because they were on a list, but because they put themselves in our field of vision by what they were seeking or who they were. That's especially true with social media, where you're into psychographics, which means interest, affinities, proclivities, peccadillos, occupation, sexuality, financial things like how much they make, net worth, brand biases, brand loyalties, corporate, etc. So whereas marketing started here and it was about making lists, for about the last 15 to 20 years, people have been putting themselves into our line of sight with inbound marketing. With the advent of retargeting and remarketing, we've gotten to a place now where we could capture these people who come into our marketing system by way of inbound sort of targeting.
Yeah.
And so curating those lists and following people around the internet is really a major part of marketing. So once again, we're in list building mode. Here's the reason that's important. We all know about retargeting, where someone comes to our website, they come to a certain page, and that page is an analogy for where they are in our marketing process. They could be in stage 3 of a 4-part funnel. They could be on a page that is about binoculars or about a service that you're doing lead generation for. We put people in a place on our website or in our marketing system, and then we capture them and follow them around the internet. Great. List building, right? That's an obvious use of a list. So what's happening now at scale, if you have a lot of users, is you don't need to follow everyone anymore. Here's an example. I'll use the binoculars one. Say I drive somebody into my website for the keyword Nikon binoculars. Awesome, right? That's just great. I know what they're looking for. They are looking for Nikon binoculars. They're in some part of the purchase process. They're researching for a book report. I don't know. Usually they're seeking to purchase them. So I drive them into my website system for the keyword Nikon binoculars. So common practice now is to just follow them everywhere they go on the internet, retargeting, using a retargeting program as part of a digital marketing platform. There's many different platforms that do that, AdRoll, Facebook, many different platforms that do that. If you think about it, though, at scale, there's not really a need to follow everyone because we could do better. How about if we only follow the ones that like to use their credit card online?
The best ones.
Yeah, or target people who don't have crappy credit.
Okay.
People who have good credit. Like, why wouldn't we just follow the ones who like to buy things on the internet and can afford to do it? Or how about this? How about if we follow all the ones who like to buy things on the internet and make $500,000 a year? Right? Financial qualification. So what's really cool about that is if we drive them in for purchase Nikon binoculars, a keyword like that, and then we follow them because they make between 100,000 a year and 1 million a year, and they are early adopters and they purchase things with credit cards on the internet. And I keep track of that retargeting and I drive them back to my website. There's not really any reason I can start. We should not start a new cookie pool that merges the query that we retargeted and the additional filter we placed on it. So now I'm building a cookie pool that embodies the query or the cluster of similar queries. So we get the scale that we need, the ad groups that are similar, if you will. And then I applied another filter on the retargeting. And when I drive them back to the website, now I can start a cookie pool that has the merged query and psychographic segment. You know, that looks a lot like an actual persona.
Yeah.
So understanding that the first level of data, the search keyword, accumulates fairly quickly. The filter isn't that much data, so the flow becomes a trickle, becomes a very, very focused cookie pool. And then if I know that they search for purchase Nikon binoculars, and I know that they're rich, I know that they like to buy things on the internet, et cetera, and I follow them, and I can't get them to buy my binoculars, it's not the marketer's problem anymore.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, the whole concept of segmented list building, filtered follows, and recapture of the segment, that data exercise makes, for marketers like us, a highly defensible practice. It gets a little thicker than that. You asked what excited me the most, so now I have set the table for it. So what about if I drive somebody into my marketing system and I sell accessories for cars, right? Car accessories, really focused. They're for different models, like they're car accessories. And I drive people into my marketing system with a keyword that's about, I want to buy this car accessory for blah, blah, blah. And it's rather generic. It doesn't mention a model. And I follow them because they can afford it and because they drive a Mercedes-Benz. Because I've got plenty of data that lets me filter the retargeting hop by car ownership, age of car, value of car, etc. When I do the creative for that retargeting hop, I can use the insight provided me as a marketer as a creative driver. Because the last mile of psychographic targeting or filtering is creative. And so now not only am I retargeting the non-converted who can afford it and use their credit cards, but I'm segmenting the creative by a car that looks like theirs. And then when I drive them back to the website, I'm creating a new cookie pool of my generic product category queries, non-brand category queries. I'm adding in the creative segmentation, and I've got them. Like, I own those people in a cookie pool till I'm done with them as a marketer. So it could be said that data segmentation, filtered following with additional creative insight, and the second hop list building is the new paradigm of marketing. That really turns me on. So what's really cool about marketing is that if you break marketing out and segment it by really awesome data practices and look at it as segmented and layered list building, then it's almost impossible to blame the marketers if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you can crush selling great products. Really, you go to your clients or your in-house stakeholders and you say, look, I targeted every keyword that people used to buy it, and I converted like 9% of them. I took the other 91% and I applied a relevant filter and I captured them in a merged persona. And then I followed those people around the internet with segmented creative. I'm sorry, 9% is all you get. They don't care. It's an instant gratification product. Or more commonly, you clean up the rebounds of the unconverted on the first hop and reduce the CPA and increase the scale of conversions. One other point, I used the search analogy filtered by psychographics and capturing the cookie on the second hop Think of retargeting as the second targeting hop merged with the first in terms of data.
Okay.
It's exciting to think of it the other direction too. What if I I'm selling software for occupational therapists to install on their iPad, say. I just made that up, but say that.
Fine.
And I start with LinkedIn or Facebook, and the first targeting hop is about occupations, where they work. They have the word procurement in their job title and all the great targeting that Facebook and LinkedIn give us for occupations. Or maybe it's a promoted tweet to people who are following the hashtag for an occupational therapist conference somewhere in the world. And I get them onto my website, and some of them download my trial software. But most commonly, when you begin with a psychographic segment where it's not clear that they're shopping, it's still display, you sell not enough and it costs a little too much. But I cookie them with Google remarketing, and I run RSLA campaigns to those people. So I'm running an AdWords search campaign, but only to people where I already am using Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter's data to know who they are implicitly. And so now all of a sudden, I feel a little better about those $40 keywords because I totally know who I'm running the campaigns to. Also, if you want to get away from those $40 keywords, since I can pretty much sell to them anyway, just based on who they are, perhaps I'm interested in using less purchase keywords with RSLA, whereas marketers wouldn't usually use research keywords to sell with AdWords. If I begin by only running the AdWords campaign to a segment of people who I know who they are, then I could get a little asunder, go a little astray from the traditional shop keywords. And the same analogy applies. I start with the psychographic segment entering the marketing system. I run a keyword campaign just to those people with RSLA. I keep track of the data hops with effective tagging. And when I bring them back to my website, now I've got the merged persona. It works search filtered by psychographics. It works psychographics filtered by search. But you could also stack it up. You could go psychographics from one channel, from another, etc. So coming all the way back around, I'm excited that data has gotten to a place in the 20 years I've been working in this industry to where once again, he or she who keeps track of target audiences the best and segments creative therefrom wins, or it's not the marketer's problem. Fully defensible marketing. I just going, whew, like we can defend everything we do by empirical use of data.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So we talked about like data, talking about strategy. What about creativity? I guess it's part of the deal.
Well, creative is everything.
Yeah.
Creative is everything. Well, the old joke is in Facebook ads, the most important elements are the image, and the image. As Google dumbs down the AdWords system and makes it keywordless with units like DSA, or custom affinity audiences, or intender audiences, which is targeting obviously called partially from queries and URL visits, the level of employee that will be required to run the AdWords system will be reduced. Because Google is going to create a system that takes a lot less effort to run. They've been trying to take away keywords for years. We're kind of getting there. So that means as agency owners or in-house VPs or directors or managers, we're going, well, maybe we don't quite need the same level of technicians. So what are we after? The answer is creativity. Creativity. Marketing is about aligning what people want or need with what your product is and what you tell them to connect those dots. The what you tell them part is the creative. And creative has always been the most important thing, but now it's really going to be top of mind. We're getting back to the Mad Men era of advertising, except for the poor behavior from men. We're getting back to the Mad Men part of advertising, where the best idea wins.
Yeah.
Look, we live in a world where targeting is implicit and distribution is ubiquitous. So it's not quite so challenging to target and distribute. What is there then? Creative.
Yeah. Okay, so If I want to make this video a massive buzz, what should I do?
Make a video that is a massive push.
Buzz. That's a buzz. Sorry, that was the Yorkshire accent coming
Why don't you
from a
ask
French
again?
man.
Why don't you ask again for the edit?
Okay, if you want. Thank you. Oh no, I want to keep that one.
Okay.
Okay, oh, well, fine. So if I want this video to create a massive buzz, what should I do?
Well, I'm thinking about it. It's a good question. If I want to make this video a massive buzz, what do I do? Well, okay, if you want to make a video a massive buzz, first make a really freaking great video.
Okay, but that's a great video.
So this video better be great.
It's going to be great.
So it's a great video.
Yeah.
So I would put the video on YouTube, and I would create a landing page on my website to house the video, because I'm not interested in video plays inside of Facebook. I want to drive people back to YouTube. And then I would do Facebook page post ads to people in communities that regularly take videos viral, like The Onion, like Reddit, or other communities where they have a track or stumble upon. Mm-hmm. I would target people in Facebook in communities, but I wouldn't do the unit inside of Facebook where it plays the video inside of Facebook. That will help, but I don't just want to make it go buzz. I want to cookie them on my website when they watch it. So in short, pick targets that regularly take things viral. Make a great video, pick targets inside of Facebook that regularly take things viral, put the video on a landing page, make a page post ad to drive people back to your website, and make it your goal not only to make it buzz, but for anybody who discovers it on your website that you pay for, that you cookie them so you can follow them later. You could even follow them later with the same video. Also, I would use a program like Sysomos Map.
Okay.
Or Sysomos Map that lets you look at buzz forensically, omni-channel, divided by influencer, date, channel. It's sort of like reputation monitoring with previous data. And I would make lists of the genesis of classic viral videos in your space and see which users took them hot. You can almost always trace back the genesis of a hot video to who did it.
Okay.
And then I would buy promoted tweets to that person's followers, which means that that person will see it. We've done testing, and I know that if I promote to your followers, Twitter says they look like your followers, but if I promote to people that look like your followers, you will see it. And so I don't want to spend a lot of money, so I'm just going to do it in the zip code or postal code where you live.
Okay.
So I'd make a list of 20 or 30 Twitter followers and the cities they live in that sparked viral videos, and then see the tweet that they did to do it, and do a tweet like that targeted to them and their followers just in their city to save money, and see if you can get somebody with a track record of this shit light it up for you.
That sounds good.
It works really well.
Great. Thank you very much, Marty.
Yeah.
Thank you.